Okay, new take. So what I want to talk about to you today, guys, is this video is a speed paint. You saw like a very tiny, very speedy, sped up version of this entire drawing that I did, this entire painting. I just want to make sure that you know this is like an edited stream, so I'm showing you a 5-minute version speed paint of this, and after that the video will continue and you will see the full stream except for the break which I edited out, but I didn't really check for anything. Like, I didn't check if I made any comments on people's art, because that happens sometimes, or who was in the chat. I'm sorry if I didn't read out everything. The original stream was from, let me find this, from the 22nd. No, from the 20th September this year. So it hasn't been that long ago. And the art that I created for this is actually a redraw of an old Pokemon art. And the original art piece was titled I Forgive You Human. I will try to put like something up here. Then the redraw was called Hello Again Little Human, and this year's version of the Absol with a human is called We Have Both Grown as People, My Friend. So as you can see, there's kind of like a progression, even though it's like literally me redrawing the art piece each time. The title suggests that there's a progression in this kind of artwork, and I thought this is really cool. Now, I think I talk about this in the stream. I talk about my art process for a while, but just to give you like a quick overview on how my general art process works in digital is that I do sketches. If I work for a commission, if I work for a client, I will do colored sketches first, like a variety of sketches. Usually it's 4. I try to do less than 4 because 4 is like quite excessive, but my sketches usually have full color. But in this piece, because this is I just went in right ahead. Like, I did like the Pokemon design first, just trying to get the shape right, how I wanted it, and then I went straight in with all my color and usual stuff. So the way that I work digitally is that I have a background color, usually a tinted color, you know, very neutral, but also quite dark usually. So in this case I went with a purplish grayish purple, right? So as you can see, and then I color in some base colors in what we call as artists local colors, which means the color as you might describe it as a child. So if you see the wall behind me, you would call it white, even though it's like it has tints to it because of the light and the shadow situation here. Or you might call this tiny logo that I embroidered here on my cap, the background yellow, even though the embroidery pad is very light, so it's not like a pure yellow. It has like is tinted white. So that's the thing with local color, is how you would describe a color to a child, because that's the apparent color of an object, right? So that's the first step, and then I usually go in with some overlaid, some new layers, put them on overlay or like multiply, and this is just to get more expressive colors in there. I can do this by hand if I want. I don't have to use like fancy layer effects, but I just like to do stuff like that sometimes. And then I mesh everything up. I do a lot of brush work, a lot of fancy brushes, trying to mess everything up, make the texture very overwhelming. And the painting looks very messy at this point, and this is my favorite stage. And after that, I just clean it up again and paint over everything. Usually I flatten the image down so that it's all in one layer, and it makes using brushes easier. And I just go in with brushes with opacity or no opacity. And that's it. That's like the whole process. If you watch the stream, I will explain all of this in more detail. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, even if you only watch the first 5 minutes. Bye! Okay. Everything's working. Stream's online, and I'm super sweaty because I just finished my workout, and I wanted to actually. So I kind of wanted to shower before that, but my brother came visiting me because he was like, "Oh, we haven't seen each other for a whole week, and I just felt like visiting you." So I guess yeah, that is something. So I got distracted and worked out like an hour later than I would have wanted to. And that kind of means that. Oh, hi, Ravioli. Sorry for the low energy. I'm just kind of grumpy. How are you doing, Ravioli? I hope you're doing fine. I'm an artist. Oh, yes, yeah, I'm streaming. I'm nice to be able to see you here. Hope you're not doing badly. No, I'm not doing badly. I'm sorry, I'm sweaty. I just worked out. I worked out and did some stretches, so I'm doing great. And I'm also just drawing some Pokemon here for my own amusement. Also, it's like, okay, let me show you. So this is an old piece of mine. An old art piece. Actually, it's this. Get it? I have it. It's like, it's an acrylic piece, and I don't know from when exactly it was. I think it was 2018. But yeah, this is what I'm planning to sketch today, and it's gonna be a short stream. I'm planning for like 2 hours or something, and also this 2018 piece is a redraw of this old piece, which was from 2013. Do you see how all brushstrokes are kind of the same? Which is because they are, I had no pen pressure back then. That's stunning. I'm glad you think so. But yeah, I used to draw a lot of. You made the Absol so majestic. Yeah, absolutely. I love Absol. It's like one of my favorite Pokemon. It's like my second fave. My favorite is Abra, to be quite honest with you. And I just feel like it's a Pokemon that deserves so much. And I don't know, that's what I'm gonna do today. So if you have anything you want to talk about or just want to chill something, you can tell me. Tell me about how your week went, and also I realize I'm like really bad with keeping in contact with people, so I hope you don't feel. Wait, do I want them the apron to be, kind of sitting up like this, or do I want them more on the ground? I think I can push them more on the ground, like laying like a fat cat. But yeah, the idea behind these Pokemon, the Absol, was to make it resemble like the Studio Ghibli kind of, like the Princess Mononoke goddesses and gods that are just gigantic animals, and they have like flocks of tinier animals. And I just like that with Pokemon, because if you remember in the old first season of Pokemon, there used to be like just regular Pokemon, but gigantic. And I always thought that was kind of cool, because Pokemon have these very otherworldly designs, and you can definitely push it to be even more striking. Ravioli, I'm doing here and there. I have cats now, which as well. Oh, that's great. But I'm a little worried because my girlfriend closes herself when she's emotional, and I wish I could support her more. Sorry to get a little real here. No, it's totally fine. I can relate to that. My girlfriend also has the problem of closing herself off when she's emotional, and just she needs a lot more time to process emotions than I do. And for her, it's a bit unusual, and she's overwhelmed with there being a person that wants to listen to her problems all the time, So she told me, just give me time, and the best support I can give her is be like, yeah, tell it to me eventually. And I hope that your girlfriend can kind of be the same way. Like, I know it's hard when you feel like you can't be there for someone. But keep in mind that she's with you for a reason, and there are things that you definitely can do to make her life easier, and just ask what it is. I hope you two are doing well, and whatever your girlfriend is going through is not a bad thing. I'm not sure if I like the tail to be this extreme. I guess a simpler silhouette is easier for readability. But also the high tail looks more fetishy. Unknown artist. Hey, I'm lagging, so if I don't type in chat for a few minutes, know that I'm lagging. Yeah, no problem. Don't feel pressured. I'm gonna be here for quite a while. You just came, like, usually I'm alone for the first 10 minutes or so of my streams. Or like almost alone. So it's quite unusual that both of you are here from the very beginning. Romeo, that's basically it, yeah. I'm glad to hear I'm not alone in that, and I appreciate the advice there. I'm seeing her tomorrow, so I may bring it up briefly. Yeah, that's I think all you can do. You know what? After I'm cooling down, I'm sensing that I'm like cooling down too much because of all the sweat. I get my jacket, but I'll be right back. Where's my jacket? You know what? I actually have like this camera set up right there where I can show traditional media. I could probably show you the old acrylic piece in detail. Let me just get this there. Let's make like... Do I need a webcam for... No. Okay. Let me show you in... Look! It's like I have a traditional webcam. And now I can make traditional media art. Isn't that great? It's like, yes, it's like... It's something I consider doing in the future. Oh, traditional. Yeah, that's like a teaser. I have the setup. I kind of have to perfect the light there and mount my microphone there and stuff like that. Moon, guess what I'm doing? Oh, okay. What are you doing, Cloud Fluff? I'm so excited. Also, welcome. That's incredible. It's so high quality too. Yes, I love your sketches. Okay. What's Cloud Fluff doing? Well, you typed in Getchy. You started another historical reenactment. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So good. So proud of you, Cloud Fluff. Why are all the people that come into my stream so on top of their game? So proud. That's... I can't stop apparently. Yeah, that's good. That's the crazy niceness of a hobby that you're putting your energy in. Also, okay. This sketch has the Absol more standing upwards, I guess, from the pose, you know. We could even make one leg straighten out, you know. Ah yes, on top of my game that no one else is playing. That's still that you're on top of the game. This one is a 2000s era anime forum anime club because I miss when more people talked about Lucky Star. Oh my gosh. Just remembering Lucky Star makes me nostalgic like hell. Yes, Lucky Star was such... Okay. I kind of like this. I like the shape of the face more, I think. So let me try to fix that here. I like that. I'm sorry, I'm very rambly. This is like low energy because it's like late in the evening, but I'm like usually I sleep at this time, okay? But I'm also kind of excited and I'm kind of glad to have this. So I was scrolling through the Discord and just looking back at how much art people share in there, and it's like I have this crazy cute community and I don't know what I did to deserve this. I'm so glad. A lot of people are joining too. We're all trying to remember how forum people spoke and it's fun. Oh yeah, the forums of the 2000s. That's crazy. I don't have like enough time to join projects like this. I really have to focus on my art and you know some friendship things are happening. I have a friend who is going through some rough time and I just need to be there for her. So that's getting a lot of my time right now. So what do we feel about the human that we want to put on the back of this Absol? So in the very first time I drew this, because I wasn't good with humans, I drew this kind of human shape, and as you can see, it's kind of not sure what is happening through their chest. It's also cool because everybody is building the community together. We want it to be community run, and we all need help finding ways to be more authentic to the zeros. You're so valid. I hope things are going okay. Oh, that's so pretty. Yeah, so I don't know what exactly... This was the best human I could do at the time. And I remember being very dejected. I think that was the year... Okay, 2013 was a year that I was very depressed because I got rejected from college. They thought I had no artistic ability whatsoever, and this is the piece I do in that year, kind of like trying to cope with the stuff. I drew my first furrier. Oh my gosh, I totally skipped that. You sorry, unknown artist. That's amazing. That's cool. Wait, let me check it out on the Discord. Wait, what's your username in Discord? Was it Mox? Was it the Lex? Because I've seen that you posted the Lex. I kind of forgot to comment on that. Sorry. But those are really good. I like them. Ah, Mox, yeah. See, I find the names. I always get them confused. But okay, let me show the legs then. So these are the legs. You have the nice dinosaur claws here. The finished ones. And okay. Let's sort these things out. And this is the sketch. And I really like this sketch. So something that I really appreciate about you is that you always do your art very pixely. You have this very minimalist art style that I really enjoy because it makes me nostalgic for the time that I read Homestuck. And also, good for you for breaking down the forms in this way. That's very good. And, I guess in your sketch, you tried more for general furry toe beans rather than the dinosaur claws that you put in the end. I think your construction is really good. That gets some definite plus points. Your line art here, especially in the crotch area, is kind of lacking, so it kind of makes the definition of the legs hard to read, you know. Just put a line here. You don't have to actually make the crotch visible, but you have to differentiate the leg from the torso, you know, from the pelvis. Wait, can I copy this and put it to Photoshop? So you did this in the construction area, the upper thigh here. This helps to make the form read better. And I also, because you also constructed the kneecaps, which is very good, props to you for that. Most people don't. I would also say, do draw the knees in, you know. It really helps with being able to read your form, and if you're worried about your line art, make the lines tinier. I think we talked about this before, that the line art that you have in the inner part of your object should be thinner than at the outside, right? So also make these lines a bit thinner if you can help it. If that's not possible, you can also stick with the line art as is. But I think it's pretty good. Very proud of you, Mox. Unknown artist. See, this just helps read the art better. And it's really like very minimal changes that I did. Yep, this kind of helps you. I'm sorry, sometimes I feel like I'm doing the, oh, do you want me? Oh, hello Shayblade. Hey Moon, how's it going? I'm doing good. I just finished a workout like 20 minutes before 20 minutes ago, because I did it before I started streaming, and I wanted to take a shower before I stream, but I had no time because my brother showed up. And also I'm doing some redraw of an old art piece of mine. You want to see that old art piece? Sorry for distracting. But look, it's this one. This is like a live cam, by the way. I guess I could also show you here because I have the scanned version. This is like an old piece I did in 2018, and it's actually a redraw of this 2013 piece. Ah, nice. I remember you talking about it on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. And I just talked about how the piece that I did in 2013 was actually, you know, I made it because I was very depressed in 2013. It was the year that I got rejected from college, and I just felt very bad about myself and art in general. So then I began drawing some Pokemon to feel better. So okay, we have the Absol here. I kind of want to also mimic the landscape that I did. And today is just going to be a very chill stream. I'm trying to stream for only 2 hours, so it's kind of nice that everybody showed up very early. I think it's the time. Like, usually I don't stream at this hour because I'm in bed. But I really wanted to stream today and draw something for myself, you know, doing some Pokemon. So I enjoy forests. The giant Pokemon are kind of like, I took that from the inspiration from the early seasons of the Pokemon anime, where sometimes there were giant versions of the Pokemon, and sometimes and also because of Princess Mononoke, which was my favorite anime at the time. Also, if you look at the 2018 version, like the 18 version, it's just called that way, you can see that I really put more effort into the landscape. We have like this foreground element of flowers here that I put so much time on, and in the 13 version it was like, what even is this? These butterflies, I guess. I mean, the colors are very pretty, but I put... Also, can you tell, by the way, that I had no pen pressure? Do you see this? 13, like, what's that, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I had no pen pressure, you know? So this was just no pen pressure. But also, I don't know. I want to make this as a redraw because I like redraw challenges, and it's also a very emotional piece. And I think that's just nice, you know? Also, we need to talk about this. There's a human on this, on the back of this gigantic Absol, and I'm not sure yet if I want the human to be abstract or do I want it to be like actually recognizably human, you know? Because the way that I think about it, the original that I do first had like a very abstract human there, just because I couldn't draw humans at the time. I kind of want to put flowers here again, and also like the water, the lake. Self-portrait, of course. Okay, we can put like a tiny self-sonar thingy here. I think that's fair. That's a cute idea. I don't even have my self-sonar on the screen right now. Yay. Let's just put it there. I haven't drawn my self-sonar in a while, so this should be cute. Okay, I think that's quite nice. For couple-ups. Is that the reason? I just assumed it was stylistic. Actually thought it looked nice. Yeah, that was the reason. I mean, I did draw some humans. Also, welcome for couple-ups to the stream. It's nice to see you around. I had so much trouble with humans at the time, and also, like I said, I felt very unsure about not being able to I felt very unsure about not being able to actually draw humans. And I'm not even sure if I should say I wasn't able to draw humans, because I had like some skill on it. But because I got rejected from college and I got like told, no, you have no artistic skill whatsoever, I was really devastated. And maybe that made me, you know, have like an art blockade. I'm also gonna play very loose with the colors here in the beginning. I think it's always fun. Damn, that's harsh. Yeah, that sounds awful to hear. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe they just wanted to be very, you know, realistic. I still have some of the art pieces that I submitted, and I have to admit that I was too much into anime at the time, you know. And that's like not something that was very popular with colleges, even less popular with colleges than it is now. And I have to admit, I thought I was so good that I could just wing it and not like go to a course on what people would want in these kind of portfolios. I thought, no, I know what I know, and my art is good enough. So it hurt a lot to be told this. Also, I put way too much stock into people's opinion back then. I still do sometimes. Sometimes I want to say I'm better now. But I'm not sure if that's true, actually. As you can see, I'm being pretty random with the colors here. It's not entirely true. I'm not totally random, but I'm just putting down colors as I want them. And I'm orienting myself on, you know, both versions of this painting that exist at this point. Like I definitely want the fur color to read as white in the end. But I also want this to be as colorful as possible, just because that is kind of my style. And also the originals are very colorful. Let's not forget who I am as an artist. I think it is very discouraging when you tell young artists what their careers should look like. Oh, welcome Noodle, how are you doing? So many people are showing up today. I'm super embarrassed that I didn't take care of myself and, you know, dressed up for the occasion. I'm just being very, I promised to stream, I want to stream, and I'm streaming, and I don't even have like anything. I'm doing okay, just at work, eating lunch. Oh, that's great. You're fine, don't be hard on yourself. I'm always hard on myself. My brother came visiting me, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not interesting right now. You just came when I was not expecting you. And he was like, don't start this again. And I'm like, ah. You're doing better at streaming than I am. I don't know. I've watched some of your streams. I thought they were pretty interesting. You have like the games that you have something to talk about, you know. All I have to talk about is art, so I have to constantly be putting out stuff. Like if I'm not, I can't just like, I need to be prepared for a stream. I need to have like a subject to paint. Like I need to think a day before, what do I want to paint? I can't just be in the stream and start sketching. I come here for your art commentary, to be honest. Okay, now I feel good. Streaming is hard work. Yeah, it really is. Oh, my bro told me about this streamer who does art in MS Paint, and he has like 1,000 viewers. And he was like, maybe I should start streaming. I have to tell you that my brother is sometimes very superficial. Whenever he sees someone making money in a way that he considers easy money, he's like, oh, maybe I should do this. No, streaming in general seems like bottling lightning until your tribe finds you. Yeah, I streamed for a month with like no viewers back when I started. Like I started streaming with very, very little viewers. No, I'm gonna be honest, that's why I started streaming. And now I spent like the last week working on overlays. Oh god, don't remind me. The thing is, I want to improve my stream setup and everything, but I'm kind of thinking I'm a bit too lame to pull that off in a way that's, you know, organically believable in my stream. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just acknowledge that my streams should feel lame, because that is like matching to my personality. No, that's not true. I'm just, if my stream setup is like too complicated, I feel like it's not a good fit. Especially since I want my art to be the main point. They're not lame at all. No, I know. Sometimes I'm self-deprecating, and sometimes I'm trying to quit that habit. I think the basil colors that I put down are very pretty. Also, let's go and put some tiny details here to my own Sona. So, do you want them to be wearing my outfit right now? It's like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I have like... Let's give myself Sona like cheap gold chains because I like cheap gold chains. It's like, yes, please. Please. I don't know if you feel like it, but I always thought that my self-Sona, I deliberately created it to be very cute. You can see it dancing on that side, by the way. That's my self-Sona. I wanted to be very cute because I thought this is what people, if they ever do fan art for me, that's the character that I want them to create fan art of. If that makes sense. So I think it should have some gold chains. Makes sense, yeah. I shouldn't put so much effort into it right now. It's not... We're not at that stage in the painting. We're still in the messing stuff up, but sometimes you just want to put some basic stuff down just so that you remember it in the later parts. So it's very important to have your range in point. Okay, let's talk some art tutorial stuff. If you can see, this is one of the brightest colors that I have on the plate, and this here is one of the darkest colors. So you want to have like a nice range. This is a pure white and this is a pure black, and as you can see, this here, this is a bit too dark. You want your lightest color and your darkest color to not be pure whites and not be pure blacks at this stage of the painting. I think it's very important that you put your tonal best at, which is pure white and pure black, at the very last stages of the painting, just so that you don't blend in pure whites or pure blacks into your colors, so not to make them muddy, you know. Be very intentional with your range of colors. As you can see, we have like a very wild assortment of colors, and some of them are way too bright, like this yellow here. Sorry for that. This is too bright. I'm not gonna, and also it's way too much. But you know me, I will blend out some of these colors, and this is one of those spots that I will need to blend out. You want a nice arrangement, as you can you even see this? I'm not sure. Okay, as you can see, my colors, when I pick them, they are not the full brightness. They have like, I'm trying to avoid this area here, this triangle, for this part, staging part, just because if you have so many colors and if you haven't decided yet on like your main focal color, you don't want them all to be super bright, because then you create a lot of eye strain. So this yellow here, this kind of has to go. And the best way to make it go away is just by blending it out. And so, yeah, it's very diluted in this way. And the other thing, just trying to get your color palette in, is trying to focus on which are the largest points of color. So I know that I want the sky to have this pink to light yellow color duration, you know. I like the very light pinks that I put as my like my underground here. And this is deliberately because I want this to shine through somewhat in the end. Okay, this is my commentary layer. And this is what you would do in traditional art by just priming your canvas with like a base color. And you want it to be not a pure white and not a pure black. You want it to be a mid-tone. In my case, I put like a lighter than mid-tone and slightly colored stuff down there. It's just that I think this makes your paintings livelier. In real life, I sometimes do pinks or like, yeah, purples. And sometimes I just use a sepia, which if you are wondering, wait, do I get it right? It's kind of this color. So those are my most regular underpainting, like priming for my canvas. I really recommend this method because it makes your canvas shine a lot. Also, if you're like me and you're going for a painterly approach and not an approach with line art only, or like a drawing approach to your art, having a mid-tone kind of helps you reevaluate all art pieces, all colors by value, you know. If you are painting something on pure white, you might pick very light colors because the white kind of blows out to your eyes. So you want a nice medium value. Anyway, let's go back to the painting before I ramble for another hour without painting. I know you're here for the painting commentary art, but yeah. So the next step, I didn't do much overlay yet. And in digital art, playing around with overlay and texture is one of the best things, I believe, but I feel like I'm just gonna play around with texture and not with overlay or fancy layer effects today. And the reason for that is kind of because I like the traditional media stuff. And my way of playing around with textures is mostly to imitate traditional media. Sometimes I feel like I want to do fancy colors and not think too much about it, and then I will use layer effects. But today I feel like to honor my old skills, you know, because this is such a throwback to my old art. So doing some fancy brushes here just to add some more texture to everything. I'm trying to mostly color pick and then vary the color tiny bit by hue or value, just how I feel at the moment. In traditional media, you would do this by using fancy brushes or something, or just splattering a lot of paint on your canvas. Give me a moment. Like, look at this. This is kind of like abstract art in a way that I just put watercolor down and then some fine liners, some markers, and pencil brushes. And as you can see, it's like very abstract, but it's like the perfect priming stage. Sometimes I adore that. I'm so glad you like that, Cloud Fluff. This is what I drew yesterday when I visited my girlfriend and we were just talking. So this is mindless doodling, but this kind of helps a lot. And in traditional media, as I said, you would mostly do this by varying your media stuff, you know. I do that by sometimes stamping with like self-made stamps and with a lot of acrylics, and sometimes even using tape and washi tape and just weird stuff that I have lying around, you know. I think it's so weird because my art looks so digital nowadays, but most of the inspiration that I have is from traditional media. Cloud. I was checking your DeviantArt because I was curious and I realized I haven't been on there in a whole year. I don't even post everything on DeviantArt. You were checking my DeviantArt. How dare you? It's so bad. There's so much bad art on there. No, but it's cool. The embarrassing thing about my DeviantArt is that it's not even my name. It's like the only platform where I can't put Vormundssekunde because DeviantArt has this, oh, you have to pay to change your name policy and blah. I want to see your old art. No, I think that's fair. What did you think? Hey, you put it in your links section, not me. That's true. That's on me. Yeah, wait till you hear my username. No problem. Anyway, what did you think about my old art, Cloud Fluff, since you brought it up? Like, I know that I sometimes even post my new art on there, so you still have to dig a bit to find my old art. Okay, it's time to texturize this and I'm getting distracted. I only have like 1.5 hours left to hit this. Still very skilled. Yeah, I think the oldest pieces on my DeviantArt are from 2011? If I remember correctly. But you know, nowadays I post everything. Back then I only posted the very best pieces. Especially when considering the timing, sometimes it took me days to finish stuff back then, and now I'm like, yeah, if I'm not finishing this in one day, I'm like, in like 2 hours, I'm upset with myself. I think it's impossible not to find some with wired stuff on old DeviantArts. Yeah, that is true. Did you know, like a year ago, someone in DeviantArt messaged me like, oh, I saw you're doing free requests, and they were like referring a post that I made like in 2013. It's like, no, this is years old. How did you find it now? And why are you messaging me as if I posted that yesterday? LMAO. It's like, what happened? This is one of my favorite brushes just because it imitates like pencil sketching, you know, and I love sketching with colored pencil over a canvas. It's so fun. Anyway, doing texture on this piece. As I said, I'm mostly doing texture because it reminds me of traditional art and my process of incorporating an abstraction into my art, you know. I think it has like a very childish charm to it and also a playfulness. If you are interested in this, I think the most important part is to have fun with art, you know. I incorporated this into my process because it made me love art more. So if you like me to play around with colors, to play around with texture, I highly recommend to the title Me and My Madness Did Make Me Laugh a Little Bit. Yeah, art should be fun. Yeah, exactly. Art should be fun, and I think for me, doing weird texture stuff is what I consider fun. So I like to incorporate it. Other people find other stuff fun and good to do. So if you find other stuff fun, try to incorporate that into your art. Whatever it might be. But yeah, I did a lot of weird stuff on DeviantArt. I can't even... I should really go back and scroll through it all. Kind of, maybe. And try to remember what everything was like for. Sometimes I wrote a lot of descriptions and sometimes I didn't. I think it would be a fun experience to go back through. But also, I really need to work on like a part 2 for my last video that I posted on YouTube. Because I got like 2 comments on that video and I was like, I want to answer these people. It's like, yes, there's so much I want to talk about furries and different furry feet styles and just abstraction and art in general. Okay, so after I messed up the painting, this is a piece of the step that I usually only do in digital art. I flatten down the image that I have so far. Okay, no. First off, I copy the stuff that I have so far so that I can look back and then I flatten it all to one layer. Just so that I can work on one layer. I find this, the more your digital art imitates the process of traditional art, the more it will look like traditional art. Sorry for hiccuping. Drinking cold coffee to compensate. Why am I drinking coffee before bedtime? Like right before? The answer might not surprise you. I'm very addicted to this stuff. Anyway, usually I have this tendency to use like blending brushes to blend out some of the worst offenders, like pieces where, like this, where I overdid the texture in some spaces. On my DA, I have a manga page I made in Japanese. It makes no sense to read if you know Japanese. Kaffe. Yeah, kaffe is pretty good. Oh god. Okay, so one of the things, because I'm German and my English used to be very, very bad, my old descriptions are mostly in German actually. Especially the very long ones. But, okay, so I just said that usually I have a few blending brushes and I like to blend out some steps. But because I kinda want to make this more traditional, I feel like I shouldn't blend stuff right now. I feel like the best thing to do actually would be to just paint over everything. Oh, you saw that I put a lot of German on there. I think it's embarrassing because the language sometimes can be embarrassing, and sometimes because my English was so bad that even the stuff that I wrote in English was kind of weird. Anyway, so now is the painting over stuff part. Oh my gosh, I didn't use this brush and it's such a lovely textured brush. Do I want to use it? Maybe just a tiny bit. German is honestly so tough. I don't know. It's my mother tongue. I grew up with it. It's really not hard for me to speak. It can be. Yeah, I know it can be hard for people to learn. I'm not saying it's like an easy language to learn, but I'm saying every language that you grow up with seems easy for you. Like if you're native, you will not understand people's struggles. Anyway, let's go over the painting over stuff. But I like how once you learn the rules, they usually apply everywhere. Yeah. Okay, so German is one of the more consistent languages. Like, it's very much what you see is what you get language. Every few years we have spelling reforms because we want to keep the written language as close to the spoken language as possible, you know? And that dates back like centuries ago. We started this like a long time ago. So ever since we started, okay, so the first writing revolution where the written language kind of tried. I love the purples in the paintings so far. Yes, the purples are great, aren't they? Okay, so when I was very not sure how to do color, let me tell you. Let me just make, where is it? You know this, where you put like a dark color, like a deep blue, and a very light yellow, and that's just the painting. Hey, are your commissions still open, by the way? Yeah, gradient maps. That's the way I wanted to. Yeah, my commissions are still open. I have one commission I have to finish this week, and all the other slots are open. If you're interested in a commission, go ahead, message me. I'd love to do a commission for you. So yeah, gradient maps are really cool. I used to do a deep blue or purple for all the shadows, and like a light yellow for all the highlights, and then everything else could be any other color, you know. As long as these two were in there, then I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then that was how I made all of my color palettes. But I should be getting paid for a commission this week, so I hope I can commission you. Oh my gosh. I think this would be the first time you commission me. Isn't that right? Cloud Fluff? I'm so excited. But also, good for you for getting paid. I forgot to give my client an invoice. I'm just realizing. Anyway, speaking of. In traditional media, I want you to know that I'm using like the biggest brush that I can for the details. Like, I'm starting with this brush size, which is 80 pixel in this case. And imagine that this is like a bigger brush that I'm starting with. And then the more closer I get to the subject, the tinier my brush strokes get. I've wanted to commission you for ages, but I'm incredibly unemployed. I'm so sorry to hear that you're struggling with unemployment. That's actually not something that I should laugh about, I think. But at the same time, I'm like so glad that you want to commission me. That's so nice. Oh no, you can laugh, it's fine. Okay. I'm living with family, so I don't need a lot of money right now. Oh, okay. I would feel really bad if I'm taking your hard-earned commission money if you're having trouble with money at the moment. Why am I stippling here? I should not. I should be working on my values still. So we have a lot of texture, we have a lot of values on the canvas, but we kind of have like an idea of where everything is going to live, right? We have like green areas where the trees are going to be. We have purple and yellow areas where all the sky is going to be, and also here the water. And we have the purple and the yellow again for the gigantic Absol. No, it's okay. I've gotten a few commissions recently. Oh, that's cool. What have people commissioned you for? I'm always curious about hearing about people's experience with commissions. I'm sorry, I'm just so nosy. I want to hear about it. So the important part here is that I'm trying to work from the background to the foreground. So we have a layer of trees, and we're just gonna be very... I got like 7 pet commissions. No, I like nosy people. It's only okay if you want to tell people. If people can't back up, I feel like being nosy is very irritating. Okay, I'm zooming in all the time because I kind of want to zoom in. I feel like... But on the other hand, try to stay as zoomed out as possible at this stage, because you want to make sure that you're keeping the whole picture in mind. Even though animals is listed as my main weakness, I think it's pretty cool that you're painting people's pets though. Do you like it? Like, if people commission you for painting their pets, I think it's enjoyable. Okay, that's great. Good to hear. I was worried there for a bit. I enjoy pets so much. I enjoy when people tell me about their pets. Though I really wish someone would commission me to draw, you know, my main skill. You mean humans and demons, right? Because I know that I draw those a lot, I guess, and my break thing. It doesn't have nudity anymore. No, that's the wrong one. Oh my gosh, I love how the server... Sorry for... It's like, you need to be watching dancing. Don't drown. Yeah. Already did, but maybe it does need a rewatch. Yeah, that's anime nerds. Exactly. Thank you for
Yeah,
I meet humans.
How are you doing?
I can show you some of the pets in the Discord. Yeah, totally.
I think you're very shy.
I'm gonna take 2 minutes. Not saying much.
I'm so disorganized tonight.
Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Just need to go to the toilet. Enjoy. I know sometimes you have this. Don't worry, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just realizing that sometimes I sound very mean. I mean, sometimes I am very mean, but other than that, I am a bit, but not too bad. I'm doing well. Nah, you don't. I'm glad you're doing well for couple ups. Sometimes I get overexcited in my streams because I love talking with people so much. And I know that most people come to the stream for my chill vibes, and then the more people there are, the more excited and overhyped I get, I guess. So that can be a bit distracting. So just trying to get the general shape and color design down here for these colors. You can be hype and chill at the same time, if that makes sense. I know that I have the energy of being very chill, but my own excitement is very high, I guess. It's more of an attitude thing. Yeah, exactly. So I hope my attitude is good for you. Anyway, so trying to map down and be a bit more careful with the color mapping here and incorporate more and more so that we can really know where the shadows are in this scene. These red things in the front, those will be flowers. You know, these kind of flowers. Look at how much effort I put into these flowers back then. It's like all these things, because this is acrylic and I remember doing this for days, like having to let it dry and paint over it again because the paper was super wobbly and stuff like that. Now also look at this tree. Why is it super dark and blackish? Because I wanted it to be separate from the other trees here in the background. And then I lost interest in it, so it has like this weird shape to it. But yes, today there's no such thing. So we kind of mapped out the colors, we have all the texture down. Now it's just going in and trying to do the detailed work, you know. I find that putting my painting into staging process kind of helps me know what to do when. So now I have this brush, like 50 pixels it is. And I'm going to work on the sky and the trees. And I want to do some stippling effect now today. Sometimes I go for a very smooth sky and sometimes I don't. Today I feel like not doing a smooth sky and just stippling the colors. I'm color picking a lot. I don't want to put colors that aren't on the canvas down there. I try to be directional with my stippling, so I'm trying to make like curves and stuff like that. So if this is the curve, then I will, wait, let me do this on a new layer. So I'm making a curve in my mind and then stippling along that. Along that curves, so that everything has like a directional flow to it. And this really helps with making sure that it doesn't look too random. Like there's a logic to all the movement in the piece, you know? And you will notice for yourself that when you're on a spot where you have like darker colors, you will pick a lighter color to stipple over it. And if you have an area where there are lighter colors, you will pick a darker color to stipple over with. This is very natural because you want your stippling to be visible in a way, or your dots and brush strokes. And as I said before, I usually start with the element that is furthest in the background so that we have this layered effect of building up the scene. So for example, I'm doing some lighter green, yellowish green spots here where I think there's a top layer of leaves, and then doing darker green spots underneath that, so that we have like a circle shape, and the top of that gets some light green, and the darker, the bottom half gets some pretty bluish, purplish spots here and there, and in the middle is the green. So picking the colors from the canvas and making sure that they're each color is in every corner of the piece, that kind of helps a lot with balancing your composition. And don't be afraid to sometimes put weird stuff inside your other colors. So I want this pretty bright purple, pretty bright pink. It's not that bright, but to shine through in here between the greens, because pink and green are so complementary. Even though it's not a very bright color, it will look very bright inside the greens. So when you put in yellows next to oranges, even very bright yellows will not look that bright next to oranges. But if you put like purples and oranges next to each other, even if they are not super bright or saturated colors, they will look very saturated, which is why the sky being pinks and yellows in my mind works so good, you know, because the color contrast in and of itself will make the colors vibrate a bit more. So don't be afraid to try out weird color combinations. Just keep in mind that if something isn't working the way you want it to, you can always paint over it again. I'm so rambly. I hope this makes sense to you. So sometimes I think I can explain stuff, and then other times it's like, does this only make sense in my mind? Or is this like a genuine good art tip? Like, I really like this blue color. Purplish blue. It makes sense. Honestly, I barely know anything about theory in art.
Okay, so it's nice to learn something. In my opinion, the theory helps you give language to stuff that you usually experience anyway. So you experience these colors being brighter just by being close to each other, but the art theory helps you pinpoint exactly why. You know, at least that's my opinion. Like, look at this. This art piece here, you have the contrast between the purples and the yellows, and this makes the yellows very bright. Like, they are pretty bright, but the brightness of the yellow makes every other color look very bright. Also, this is another classic example of me using yellow to purple gradient, kind of, you know, to get away with anything in between. And yeah, look at this old Gravity Falls fan art that I did. It's like, what even is this? Why is it, like, I was just so into abstract stuff and backgrounds back then because I didn't know how to draw backgrounds. But yeah, anyway. It's like colors that, look how these tones in this arbor painting are all pretty neutral. But you can really tell that the red looks very bright because it is surrounded by very neutral colors, you know? And I think once you learn to pick up some stuff, pick up some theory, then you are able to get all the stuff that you already notice in art and notice it on a more academic level, I guess. Like, give language to the things you already know. That will greatly help you appreciate some pieces more. Like, you know already that pointillismos is a thing, that people did this dotting the points, you know, thing. And the reason they did it is because creating the contrast, creating these tiny dots creates movement. Like this piece, it looks like it's moving, and it's because of the illusion of the tiny dots, you know. Having a very impressionistic brushstroke makes the piece look more in movement. And I think that's very noticeable. Or maybe that's just my interpretation. If you have questions and you think that I can answer them, feel free to ask. I am here to answer questions. Like, especially with streams like this where I'm working on my own project. Usually I stream only commissions because I don't do much art for myself anymore. So I think having today's stream just be for myself is kind of a nice change of pace. But it also means that I'm very open to hear about your critique and your questions, and I'm not under a lot of time restriction for this art piece, like I usually am. I guess I usually try to finish some art pieces in like a timely manner. And if you're wondering where that is the case, it's because I want my commissions to be priced fairly. And if I want them to be priced fairly, I also need to be honest about the hours of work that I put into it, right? So if I want low prices, I need to be very fast. And I want low prices. I want people to be able to afford my art. It's kind of very important to me that that people are able to afford me. Art can be such an underpaid work. Too busy or just haven't had the drive? Oh no, I think so it's part of both. I'm very busy with commission art, like, okay, so I did raise my prices, and ever since then I have like lower commissions. So this is why I can do some artwork for me personally, which I kind of regret raising my prices because of that. But I think for the work that I put into it, it wouldn't be fair at this point to not raise my prices, like at least a bit. So before I raised my prices, I was very busy with only commission art. It's like I could not keep up. Now it's better, which is really nice. But I also find it hard for the drive. As I said, I try to stream my process for commissions. Like I need to have something in mind already that I want to draw. I can't just sketch and be like, oh, I'm just sketching and doodling and seeing what comes out. I find that a very uninteresting thing to stream and look at, you know, from other streamers. It's like, no, that's uninspired. I want you to already have something in mind, you know. I like art streamers that have a project that they're working on and that they can talk about for hours for no. Art can be such an underpaid work. Yeah, I still have like my day job, and I think I'm very happy with it at the moment. So I'm not sure. In terms of being an artist, I am underpaid, but that is kind of like by choice because I still want people to be able to afford me, and I'm taking too long to draw anyway, so it's like if I want more money for art, I should put more work hours into this, and that's not feasible at the moment, so it's hard to charge people money for art. Yeah, exactly. I don't have the audience to do art every day. Because if you want to make art every day, you kind of need to have people give you a lot of input, you know? I'm only able to do so much art because people give me commissions. If I didn't have like commissions, I would not be able to come up with enough pieces, with enough ideas to stream. Because I'm very much a perfectionist, you know? I know I talked with another person like some months ago about how generous I am with the sketching process. Like I do 4 sketches and then I give people like if they don't like any of the sketches, I'm giving them 4 more. So I'm willing to do 8 sketches for a very cheap price. Which kind of surprised them. And I guess that is very fair because I'm doing this mostly because I want people to have like an idea that they like. See, I'm putting like some very deep reds in here into the shadows just because I feel like doing some weird color variation in this area. And the deep red, even though it's like very dark brown actually, it looks very red in this area just because the color contrast with the green works so nice for couple-ups. I really like to give artistic freedom or just lose direction whenever the artist is okay with it, of course. I know some artists don't like that. I really enjoy artistic freedom, but I like the input that people have, you know, Cloud Fluff. I was just looking at old art to add to an ad I was making, and wow, I used to draw noses so much nicer. What's wrong with the way you draw noses right now, Cloud Fluff? Do you want to go back to your old way of drawing noses, maybe? I never do lineless art anymore because I'm lazy. I find a lineless art easier, to be fair. I like drawing noses right now, but I think it's just that I used to spend longer on them. Oh, okay. So that's what was happening. Yeah, that can be the case. See, I know that I like my art now more than I used to, but sometimes I look at pieces and I'm like, that's not bad. How come that I did such a great piece even though I know my skill was lower? Why was this so good? And then I think back and I realize, oh, it's because I spent like weeks on it. It's like, yeah, this explains a lot. Okay, so I'm adding some tree branches here. Kind of to give this a bit more direction. And also a bit more structure in all of this. I think those look pretty nice. Noses are my favorite part of the face to draw. Really? Noses? Okay, I mean, no judging. I always find them like very uninteresting. I think my favorite part to draw, I don't even know what my favorite part to draw is in the face. When I'm drawing fairy characters, I tend to underwork the eyes. But with humans, I think eyes are my favorite thing. I also love eyes. Yeah, everybody loves them, I think. Well, not everybody, but my sibling hates eyes. They hate eye contact and therefore they hate eyes in art as well. Oh yeah. What do you think so far of this piece? Like, I think the colors are very pretty right now. The noses are so fun. I don't know. Sometimes I like in a profile pic, a nose is very good. right? Looks really pretty. Okay, feeling good now. Why am I always looking for comfort from you guys? It's okay to seek validation. I mean, yes, I guess. We're all just people. For couples. Sorry, no deep input. I have monkey brain. Me see art, it look good, it's pretty. No, that's totally fine. I also sometimes struggle with just giving basic feedback. It's like, why am I so dumb? I think so far this is working. Yet, I think so far this is working pretty well. So we're focusing on the background right now. Really, I get the impression you're pretty good with words. How did you come to that conclusion? That's a lie if I've ever heard one. Like, I'm not good with words. I'm not even speaking in my mother tongue. I feel like I'm way smarter in German than I am in English, just because I struggle so much with the vocabulary. So with the when you talk about what you're doing, I swear I'm not. Oh yeah, when I talk about what I'm doing, but that's because I've been doing this this art style for a while now, because every art piece that I do kind of informs my process for the next one. I know what I'm talking about because this is like an 8-year process, right? So, okay, this is from 2013, as I said. So this kind of informs my art piece. Obviously, this is a redraw of this old piece, and you can really see that in the old piece I structured the fur by painting the furthest part away first. So I painted this dark fur here and then overlaid it with the brush strokes that would go in front of it. So paint this fur, like imagine that the fingers are the brush strokes, and then you put like another piece of another piece of brush strokes on top of it all, right? So that they overlay each other, and that creates this 3D-ness. And you can really tell that I had like a half transparency kind of going on there because I was so unsure about the colors, and then that I had no pen pressure again because I didn't have pen pressure back then, and that I just picked the colors and did it again and again, you know. And this is kind of the way that I still sometimes draw fur. And you can tell that in this piece that I did years later, that I worked from the background to the foreground. You know, just by the way that the brushstrokes works and that the colors in the background inform the one from the that go in front of it, you know. So every piece of media that I create informs the next one, and because I've been doing art and recording my art since 2012, I have like almost 10 years to look back on. So I would hope I know at least something about what I'm doing. Okay, so with the brush strokes in the sky, I try to do an S curve, so and like slightly involve some curves here and there, so the air is moving in a pleasing way. With the leaves here, I try to have like some upward facing and then some sideways facing and then some downward facing again, you know, trying to get this ball shape kind of in there and like making it look shaggy and a bit splattery, just because the way that leaves orient themselves is to maximize the sun surface, obviously, because, you know, photosynthesis. The leaves will orient themselves in a way that every piece of them have as much light to work with as possible, because that's what they turn into energy and stuff like that. And so the brush strokes that I use for that are a bit more unorganized, just to imitate the way that the leaves fall. And the brush stroke in the water is gonna be very flat, very horizontal, to imitate the very slight waves that the water has, you know. In this way, we're creating the texture of what each piece is just by the brush stroke, by the direction that we're going with. And I strongly recommend organizing your brush strokes in this way, trying to organize your texture in this way. It really helps you with keeping in mind what each material is made of, you know. Even if, like I do, you have, or like you're striving for a bit more of an impressionistic way of expressing your art. Also color pick a lot when you're doing the water. You want the reflections to be in a similar place. You don't have to be super accurate with this. Just keep in mind that you want it to be somewhat looking like a reflection, Oh my gosh, I can't talk. See, this part here, these 3 brush strokes, those are the reflections of my own self-sonar. So I think this is very pretty. The sky, the trees and the water is kind of done. I have this area here in the front which are going to be flowers, but we're gonna paint these last so that they overlap the Absol and the human, you know. Because, as a reminder, they're kind of imitating these flowers that I do here. So we're gonna do that, but this time around staged better so that we have like an overlap. Because foreground elements, you know, and everything like that. Staging your art, like making sure that you have a background element like this, like the trees and the sky, and then staging your characters in front of that, and then staging something in front of that. This kind of creates a perspective without you having to actually put a lot of thought into perspective. I'm always for lazy perspective, especially in nature scenes, right? Like, don't let your bad experiences with your art teacher fool you into thinking that perspective is like a very complicated thing that needs you to put graphs and stuff like that every time. Like if you're trying to go for nature scenes, just go for your gut feeling. Okay, let's actually draw the Pokemon in this Pokemon stream. I'm very loose with the okay, I need to since I started, turning this into this, I kind of never changed the brush size. Sorry for that. My apologies. But now, since we are moving on to our main subject of the art piece, I'm going to jump from 50 pixels to 30 pixels and make this the brush size that I'm using for the fur and the Pokemon here, just because I want this to have a tighter feel to it, My nose is running. This is so not good. As you can tell, I'm a pretty confident artist in that I don't need or want much of a perfect sketch or anything. Like, what did my sketch look like? This was my sketch. And I just paint over everything. Like, I'm not making new layers after a certain point. But if you feel like you don't trust yourself, feel free to make the art in a way that feels enjoyable to you. If you want to have multiple layers, multiple ways of being able to backtrack decisions, that's fine. I find that working simple and concentrating myself on one layer makes my art feel more traditional, like traditional media. And since that's where I took my humble beginnings as an artist, that's what I want to continue. So as you can see, I'm kind of trying to make this this piece that's like decorative horn on the top of the head of the Absol. Where's my nose running? Okay. I'm trying to make this very thin, but it still needs to have some of that impressionistic element in there, right? Even though it doesn't have a fur texture. If you want to sharpen up an edge, Okay, let's make a new layer for that. If you have like, let's make this the object. If you want to sharpen up an edge, it really helps to put like a contrasting color onto the edge of it. Like just making a white outline highlights this dark corner here. So this is kind of what I'm doing here with the horn, just by making the parts just by putting a highlight directly behind it, I will sharpen up the edge of the pretty dark color here without needing to actually sharpen up the brush or needing to use like a very sharp tool like the lasso tool, right? And I find this helps me to keep my my art constricted to the brush strokes and not using fancy stuff like selection tools or stuff like that, because I find they give your art a very digital feeling to it. Cloud took my cat to the vet today. She's very stoned. Well, yeah. Is your cat enjoying being stoned, or is she like a grumpy stoner cat? Also, I hope it wasn't like a scary experience to bring her to the vet. Some cats react pretty badly to that. She's being silly. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Oh yeah, here's some very bright yellow that I need to paint over because it's too bright for this part. It's her third time this month and she's gotten used to it. Well, that's good. That's great to hear. I feel like you gave me pics of your cat. Do I remember this correctly? I think it was you. She's a very polite cat in general, so she kind of accepts whatever comes her way. I think I did. I think you made sketches of your cat and they were very cute. I think I want some blue highlights in this for sketches or sketch. I think it was multiple sketches, like tiny post sketches, but all on one page, so. Oh, those ones, yes. Oh, those ones were so lovely. Okay, so one struggle that I often have is that I neglect eyes, especially furry eyes, and because I'm so into the painting process that I'm like, forget about like details and stuff. Like I just want to make brush strokes, right? But it's actually pretty important that I put like some effort. Wait, what? Into the eye here. So give me just a second to figure this out. How I want the eye to look. Oh god, I'm sniffling so much. Oh god. Okay. I think I want the expression to be a bit friendlier. The last few ones were pretty cold. kind of want... Okay, let's give her some bright highlight here in the eye, just to make the eye very lively. Be right back. Yeah, no problem for couple lips. I'll probably still be here. Like, where am I supposed to go, right? So as you can tell, I'm doing the layered approach for the fur again. It's like, yeah, I'm layering just colors on top of each other in short brush strokes, imitating the fur direction. I feel very strongly about this, that I just want the colors here to be pretty and the fur to look very fluffy, because that's just the best, you know. And also I think Absol has like red eyes, so let's put like a bit red in there. And to be quite fair, I think it has actually more like a snout and not that triangular shape that I want to give it to it. Something like this. As a reminder, sometimes you just need a bit more contrast, so that's why I'm putting some darker fur here in. Because having the nice range of colors is really important. And a nice light patch of fur only really manages to stand out if it's over a dark patch of fur, or you know, if there is a contrast. So yeah, layering fur again and again over each other just to get the brush strokes to layer in the right way. Making sure that the space between the front leg and the back leg is like sufficiently dark. I'm jumping a bit all over the place wherever I feel like it. Cloud Fluff, I got to go. It's been lovely to watch. Yeah, no problem. It's been 2 hours, so I'm also pretty close to finished. Don't feel bad about it. It was really nice to talk to you, Cloud Fluff. Bye. Have a nice night. nice evening. One of my favorite parts about being a streamer is that people visit my streams like so regularly. I never thought I would get people who just come here so much for my personality. It's quite nice, let me tell you. Yeah, I think this is good for the Absol. I need to get my self-zona here sorted out. So if you missed that, this is my self-zona. It's the lovely thing that you see there, you know. It has a cap and all because I have a cap and all. And yeah, it's kind of like a representation of myself. So since it is kind of or how I see myself, it has black hair, as I do have black hair, and I tuck my hair in. And you can tell I have black hair because I have this black ponytail. When I started the stream, I used to have pink and blue hair. It was like a split design. Kind of think of Todoroki from Hero Academia, if you know him. Like very split in the middle. And I want my character, my Sona, to be wearing the same stuff I'm wearing right now. Which is this kind of Hawaii hemmed vibe. I'm actually wearing my yoga pants because I know my workout pants because I went streaming right from my workout, so yeah. I'm still disgusting and smelling like sweat, I guess. But I kind of like it. As in, I like the tiny human that is me. And I like working out and going streaming. And I'm giving myself a gold chain. And that's my self-sauna. It's like very, very simple, but as you can tell, it was the same simple thing in the sketch. It's like Yeah, don't think we need much more in this. So I'm returning to a bigger brush size and gonna finish the flowers in the foreground, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream. So this should take like 10 more minutes or something. So as you can tell, I'm trying to give the flowers here some very distinct leaves and just push the colors here and actually put some veins into the leaves. I think that is a fair thing to do, especially since they're so far into the foreground. And it kind of layers them pretty well, and we can put some distant reds here, just to imply that they are the same flowers that we have in the foreground. And I think that is a nice little touch. They don't have to be super detailed. The most detail is into the Pokemon here. But it also kind of helps to fake some details if you put a tiny bit of effort here and there, you know? Detail isn't actually about detail. Detail is about organizing your painting in a way, you know, and organizing your brush strokes. So I'm actually gonna put even some grassy stuff in front of this. And then put some grass as well here. It's coming together really nicely. Yeah, I think it's actually pretty finished, to be quite honest. Like, I think we can consider this a finished piece, right? Like as I said, I was trying for a 2-hour stream and we did it. Completely from 0 to here in 2 hours. I could probably put like more detail into it if I wanted, but I really enjoy the very impressionistic vibe that we have going here. Like I know I could push the shape language of the character here a bit more, or something like that. But I think it's not necessary. Do you get what I mean? It's like, any more work that I do will not have the same return value. Like this is, I know that many people, many artists would treat this as like a rough patch and then go over it again, you know. I feel it. Yeah. I also think this is pretty nice. Okay, that's it. That's as much as this is gonna get. So I'm saving this, and yeah, that's it. That's it for today's stream. Thank you everybody for hanging out today. Sorry I didn't do a work on a fairy commission, but I felt like doing some personal work, and that's it. That's the personal work for today. Yeah. It was really nice to hang out with people. For couplets, thanks for the stream. Yeah, thank you for couplets. Thanks for hanging out. It means a lot. Bye.